Hey, so I just finished Little Nightmares 2, and I gotta say, as somebody who really enjoyed the first game, they did a great job with this sequel. Or shall I say prequel? I'm not gonna spoil anything at all, but yes, this is a prequel. I wish I would have known that going into it. I began to suspect fairly early on in the game, but yes, this is a prequel. So whether you played the first game or not, this is a fine place to jump in. Either way, you're going to enjoy it all the same. And I got to say a quick thank you to my friend Steve for gifting me this game for my birthday. Everybody go check out Steb Rocks on Twitch. Give him a follow. He's much better at all this stuff than I am. So go check him out, guys. Anyways, Little Nightmares 2. If you don't know anything about this series, it is really a puzzle platformer at heart with strong horror themes and some really intense action scenes thrown into the mix. Little Nightmares 2 has you playing as this character Mono, who is a little boy with a paper bag over his head. You start the game in this very dreary looking forest, and it's full of traps, full of dead bodies and danger, and you're just trying to make your way out. You're trying to make your way out alive, and you'll quickly come across another child, a little girl who turns out to be 6 from the first game. And so the two of you set out to escape this terrible, terrible place you're in, where everybody else is either dead or some sort of grotesque monstrosity who just wants to kill you. And you'll be making your way through building to building throughout this city, trying to find some answers and trying to just survive. One of the absolute best parts of this series is just the presentation, the atmosphere, the graphics and the sound design. Everything is so masterfully created. It looks like a Tim Burton movie, if you will, but even darker than any Tim Burton movie I've seen. There's some really nasty stuff in here. Some of the enemies are just terrifying, but overall you just have an overall kind of sense of dread when you're playing this game. In a good way, because I loved every moment of it, don't get me wrong, but that's just the sort of atmosphere it puts you into. It's quiet, it's just full of death and darkness and gloom. There's very little sound going on, there's very little music, but there's something so unsettling about the quiet and these subtle tones you're hearing in the background. And when you hear footsteps and voices, you gotta be on the watch. Adding to this overall tension too is if you play the game with a controller, which is highly recommended even as you boot up the game on PC, it supports rumble, and when you get in a tense situation, the vibration in the controller mimics your heartbeat. It begins to vibrate and thump in a like heart pounding rhythm. So if your heart wasn't already racing, that rumble feature will really simulate it, and it is really intense. Having a friend in this game is a welcomed addition. Of course, in Little Nightmares 1, you're all alone. There's not a single friendly soul around. Well, there are some gnomes that pop up, but really there's no friendly character to be found. So in this one, it's really nice, and it kind of does provide a little bit of comfort and a little bit of drive to carry on, having this other character to look after, especially such a beloved character that was the heroine in the first game. But yeah, you're these two little kids, and they're so cute and innocent looking in this horrible world, and there's so much charm in this otherwise horrific setting. But at its heart, it is a puzzle platformer game. You'll be solving a lot of kind of simple physics-based puzzles. You'll be looking for keys in different rooms and in switches and ways to get from point A to point B. There were definitely a few confusing puzzles, but overall, not too bad, not too difficult. You will just feel that stress, that anxiety, and it's brilliant. There are a lot of stealth and action mechanics at play too. When you're not solving puzzles, you might be bashing the heads in of some ceramic dolls that have come to life, or you might be running for your life from some giant boss who is just so much bigger than you. Again, you're a little child and you're pretty much powerless in this world, so the action sequences in the game are very intense, very exciting, and a whole lot of fun. It's not a terribly long game. It took me about 6 hours. I've seen some people complete it in about half that time if they know what they're doing and if they're really good at it. But there were some spots where I would die over and over and over again. And like I say, there were some puzzles that I really got stuck on. But yeah, about 6 hours. I don't know if we'll see any DLC for this one. We can hope. The first Little Nightmares was even shorter than this. It was only a few hours. They did add some DLC chapters on after launch. But overall, this one is longer than the first game. It's basically everything that the first game did well, with some added dynamics thrown into the mix. You know, having that second character and kind of going into some other areas story-wise. And everything's very kind of abstract and mysterious, and nothing's spelled out for you. You're gonna have to really kind of dig into the lore of the series. I was trying to make sense of the ending myself, so I listened to some other people's theories on it, and it all makes sense. I'm not that smart, guys. I'm not, so I don't know why you're listening to me, but thanks. But yeah, everything that this game did, you know, it added a lot of new kind of puzzle dynamics and just gameplay mechanics that the first game didn't have, in subtle ways though. At its core, it feels very much the same as Little Nightmares 1. Which is not a bad thing. It's just taken up a few notches. And it was a great experience all the way through. I really enjoyed it. It seems like they could really go a lot deeper into this story and this world they've created. There's a lot of questions that are still not answered. There's a lot of speculation to be had. So I would like to see Little Nightmares 3. But I just heard Victor Lucas was talking about this earlier, that the developers are not going to be making any more Little Nightmares games. However, Bandai Namco still have the rights, and they might go with another development team and put out some more sequels. But your guess is as good as mine as, you know, how that's all going to play out and how future games might turn out from a new development team. We'll just have to see what happens. But Little Nightmares 2, absolutely great game. Great game. And if you haven't played Little Nightmares 1, like I say, you can start with 1 or 2. You'll enjoy them just the same, I believe. You can get Little Nightmares 1 very cheaply on sale most of the time. I think it's on Game Pass as well. But yeah, I highly recommend this series. Great game. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching. Like I say, go give my friend Step Rocks a follow on Twitch. He does a lot of FPS games, survival games, RPGs, you name it. And be sure to hit that subscribe button here if you want to see more videos like this. Let me know in the comments what you think. Hope to see you next time. Till then, take care. Peace out.